Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone who joins the call to our international society, international community supporting us. Thanks very much for your attendance. Today, as usual, we are covering the most important things on the roadmap of Equilibrium. My name is Alex. I'm the CEO and the founder of the project. As usual, Peter, tell a few words about yourself.
Thank you, Alex. Hi, everyone. Nice to see you here. Today is our little anniversary series community call. Happy to be here. Yeah, we're quite a long-lasting project in Polkadot. I'm happy to celebrate this little anniversary with you guys. Gonna be sharing lots of exciting stuff as usual.
Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah, we've been doing that for quite a while. Every month, at the end of the month, we're jumping on the call with everyone and sharing, hopefully, helpful insights on what's going on with Equilibrium. Again, thank you very much for being with us and following the project so closely. Let me share my screen. As you know, we usually have slides. Just a sec. So these slides is actually about like it covers our today's agenda. So let me walk you through the agenda real quick. So first of all, we'll be talking about our Moonbeam integration, which happens at the end of the day. We currently have our main assets, the EQ token and the EQD stablecoin, added to the Moonbeam dApp interface, which is a really exciting achievement. We've been, working on that for quite a while, and eventually it happened. We have conducted our annual event focused on DeFi and Polkadot, and this one went really well. It was just literally last week, so we'll talk about that a bit in great detail. Our EQD USDT pair is live on our stableswap within our application. Welcome to check it out, and we'll share some information on the progress on our Ledger app for Polkadot, for the Polkadot ecosystem. We'll touch on Composable Finance integration, which happened recently. We had some coverage, specifically at the Kusamarian's blog, or video kind of channel. We have some updates on the Multichain breach, and tell you about stuff going on the tech developments side. So let's jump on in right away. So I guess we firstly will be covering our integration with Moonbeam, and we actually have a guest today, from Moonbeam. So let me bring Nate on the stage. Just hold on a sec. Let me find. Okay, he is here. Just let me find a way how I can actually bring him. Just a sec. Like Crowdcast is a very interesting platform. They're actually changing their interface pretty fast. Like I cannot catch up with everything. Like here I have Nate. I have just a button roll, and it says that he is speaker, but there is no button to get him actually. Okay, to the main stage. Okay, I got it. I got it. But he seems like he is joining. Okay, just before he joins, I'll tell you that for us, like it's a really important achievement because. Hey Nate, how are you, man?
Hey, sorry about that. I'm having some technical difficulties here with Crowdcast. Give me one.
Everyone has technical difficulties with Crowdcast. It's so common for everyone, but it gets better and better, you know. And I can say it's pretty confidently because like we've been working with the platform for ages. I guess we are the very early adopters after Peter Malrick actually brought Crowdcast to the Polkadot ecosystem back in the days. Can you hear us, Nate?
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I new account that had to get set up, all the fun stuff. Sorry about that. Hey, guys.
Hey, yeah, thanks very much for joining us today. Great pleasure to host you on our community call. And, you know, we usually bring on the stage really interesting guests, and we are really honored to have you with us. And our excitement is around our recent integration. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, you know, as you know, there's apps.moonbeam.network. It's kind of it's a place where users can effectively switch in and out of assets that have been registered via XCM. And so last week, I think we finally got through. There's essentially a governance process where folks have to vote on it, get it approved, all that kind of stuff. So there were some hurdles that had to be cleared for the Equilibrium team, but you went through it. You provided all the info. You got the approval of the community. So it moved forward with the integration. So now that the EQD as well as the EQ token can be seamlessly moved between the two parachains, which is a great start to kind of getting assets kind of moving between the ecosystems and things kind of off and running between Equilibrium and Moonbeam.
Yeah, we are very much excited about that because, like, I'm sure that this integration will have certain impact on the further adoption of EQD as a stablecoin. We definitely have a bunch of further integrations planned for Moonbeam-based projects. So we're currently talking to quite a few AMMs on your guys' side, and we hope that it will be a really real blast at the end of the day. We're planning for some, farming campaigns, and we will be announcing that. So keep an eye on our socials.
Very cool. Very cool. That's great to hear. There's obviously a variety of teams that are doing pretty cool things, whether it's Stella and BeamSwap, who are I think BeamSwap's releasing their V3 style deployment here shortly. Yeah. They're also working on BeamX, which will be pretty cool. Or whether it's Stella, who have a bunch of V3 features going on. They've got teams that are now integrating on top of that to build positions and things like that can optimize strategies. There's obviously some cool stuff going on. So excited to see the EQD start to get hopefully utilized in more pools. I do think that we're getting closer from what we hear through the grapevine that there will be more from native integrations to state mines. So there'll probably be some ability to whether you want to look at like stable pools with native Tether or even native USDC, which should be coming shortly. I think there's just going to be a variety of new things that'll be enabled now that EQD, as well as some of the integrations that have been worked on for a long time, go live. And I mean, Curve is deployed. There hasn't been a whole lot done with Curve on Moonbeam. There were some false starts there. I mean, look, it's Alex. How long have we been talking? 2.5 years, probably.
2.5 years, yeah.
Yeah, and so for
and building even longer. So like
and so I think that we all get frustrated sometimes that we want things to kind of go faster and move more quickly than they could. But now that XCM is actually fully utilizable, there are more and more parachains coming on board. I think there's just I see now really being like the start of the Polkadot ecosystem, period, because I just think that for a long time, the features just weren't quite there, whether it was XCM or whether it was even just parachain slots or things along those lines. But all of it's kind of here now, and it's taken a long time to get here. But I think that you're going to really start to see more and more collabs moving forward, and I think that's where you start to see this growth effect start to take place.
Definitely, yeah. Looking forward to that. And I have actually a question which might seem a little bit uncomfortable, I guess. But don't you feel that this kind of, overwhelming governance processes like votings and everything, manually built connections, a little bit congesting the ecosystem and, making it slower rather than it could be if everything would be like, easier and more seamless?
I think that anytime you decentralize something, it gets more inefficient than if it's fully centralized and can be managed by kind of one entity. And so I tend to believe that like it'll get better. It's going to take some time, and I think the tooling needs to be there. And even with GovV3, I think that it's great. It's really powerful, but it can be a little confusing, and there can be a lot to kind of get folks involved with. So there's very much trade-offs in terms of like from a decentralization aspect to an efficiency aspect. But at the end of the day, we from like a Moonbeam supporter standpoint generally skew towards decentralizing as much as possible, so that that's kind of our, I don't know, we've always kind of skewed towards just like things should be decentralized, and that's how things should work. It shouldn't just be kind of one team kind of managing things. And so we're fully down the path of decentralizing pretty much everything that goes on in the Moonbeam ecosystem.
Right. But you mentioned that it could become like a little bit easier at some point when the processes sustain and everything becomes more kind of clear and stuff. What's like particular steps that the Moonbeam ecosystem takes towards like the bright future of seamless and easy, straightforward processes?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is around education and communication. So we're putting a lot of effort and emphasis in terms of documentation and community calls and things like that will hopefully help people understand better about like what they need to do, how they need to do it, the best ways to be engaged, and then just working with some of the tooling providers who are going to be like supporting, whether it's like Polka Assembly or other places that are going to kind of make it easier for people to digest. Okay, what's up for a vote? What do I need to be involved with? What do I care about? I think it really just comes back to like the education and the documentation needs to be as good as possible, so that it makes it just easier for folks to kind of understand. I also think that there'll probably be the ability for their teams who are doing kind of like alerting systems in a decentralized fashion, so that when you go to, maybe at some point it gets integrated into the Moonbeam app, but like when you go to like switch a token, there could be kind of a pop-up of like, hey, these things are up for vote, please go vote. But yeah, it's about like how do you engage, but how do you also educate and make sure people understand kind of what's going on in the ecosystem.
Cool. Yeah, makes sense. What's your take on the current state of things with liquidity within the ecosystem, and like given that Moonbeam is EVM compatible and probably the biggest EVM compatible parachain on Polkadot right now, like if you compare yourself to some L2s of Ethereum, for example, how are you planning to get there and become like the same scale in terms of network value at the end of the day?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there are a couple takes there. One is we're fully aligned with Polkadot, and so for better or for worse in some ways, and it's been bumpy here and there, but ultimately we like started building Polkadot because we believe in the architecture, and we believe in a future that is truly multi-chain, and that the you're seeing what Cosmos is doing now, where they're trying to create this shared security model back in the Atom hub, and it's like, well, that's like Polkadot but shitty, and so I think everyone's kind of realizing that like it's taken longer, it's been more of a headache in many ways, but ultimately like the parachain model is a very scalable and long-term kind of model for this multi-chain vision. And so, for us, I think that there's still a significant amount of value in being kind of like the kind of call it the general purpose EVM platform for Polkadot as the ecosystem, and as the ecosystem grows, Moonbeam so too will grow along with it. And as parachains come online, as more and more things to do in the Polkadot ecosystem, I think Moonbeam will get value from that. I mean, shit, like we're talking here, you're already talking to teams in the ecosystem about pools and getting things going. That's going to drive value in the ecosystem for sure, and drive growth in the ecosystem. And the other piece that we've been spending a lot of time on is what we call connected contracts, where teams essentially have like a brain on Moonbeam, but they want to be able to be on Arbitrum or Polygon or Avalanche or Celo. And so it's kind of this architecture where utilizing things like Axelar or Layer 0 or Wormhole and their general message passing strategies, you can have like a home base on Moonbeam, but you can have all these outposts outside of Moonbeam in these other layer ones, where a user may not even know where they're interacting. They just know that they're getting a higher APY, or they're getting into a strategy or a pool or an NFT that they're looking to get into. They don't necessarily need to know that it's on Moonbeam, or that the transaction is getting finality from Moonbeam, but that's how they're transacting. So that's another strategy that we're kind of working on and kind of taking to market with teams, because I think that, in that case, we're getting a bunch of transactional volume and things like that, which is really cool to see. But users may be Arbitrum focused, and they're just, they're getting into Prime because they see a higher APY or something like that. That basically creates new usage for Moonbeam, which is awesome.
Yeah, it reminds me what recently the Composable team put out with their kind of bridging thing, and I guess they're also focused on this cross-chain message passing. That will be also like a huge thing, and definitely like the whole bunch of parachain projects will benefit from that.
Absolutely.
Makes sense. Are you going to decode it this year?
I have an 8-week-old baby at home, and I have a 1.5 and a 3.5-year-old. So I think this year I'm going to have to stay on the sidelines. As it's only 3 weeks away, so leaving an 11-week-old at home might be a little tough. So I think I'm staying put this year, but I know that there'll be Moonbeam representation. I think Derek's going to be there. I believe maybe Alberto from who does a bunch of DevRel is going to be there. There's going to be going to be Moonbeam representation. I unfortunately had to stay on the sidelines this year.
Got it. Makes sense. We just got a slot on somewhat tech stage or something in DeFi track, so we're gonna be there as well. So
Awesome.
Anyways, we have not announced that yet, but by the way, guys who listening to us right now, take it as the announcements. We are going to the Decode. It's in Copenhagen. Okay, makes sense. Look, Nate, I'm super big on what's going on between Equilibrium and Moonbeam, and I'm sure that big times ahead. We will definitely make it and become stronger all together and build the decent DeFi infrastructure within Polkadot, thanks to our joint efforts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks very much for.
Yeah, I was just going to say, excited. We've been working together for a long time, Alex, and so it's good to see this all kind of come together, and the XCM integration finally kind of become real, and excited to just see the ecosystem grow, and what else you guys forward with teams who are building in the Moonbeam ecosystem. So it's great to have the integration done, and look forward to see what else you guys come up with.
Absolutely. Yeah, just maybe last question before we go. Sure. Are you aware of our initiative with the Unified Ledger app that we're currently pushing forward?
I have heard about it. I don't know. I believe it's like making it so any parachain can get Ledger support, which is awesome. I think sometimes we're Moonbeam can be a little spoiled because of the EVM compatibility, and so I haven't dug into it because I end up being a little scattered sometimes. I get pulled in a lot of directions, and so if it's not something that impacts Moonbeam specifically, I end up kind of going elsewhere. But look, I think that and custody support and all the these state mine integrations, these are the things that I think are they've been a long time coming, and they especially the custody stuff needs to move forward, and there needs to be solutions, because I think those are the pieces that will help kind of add fuel to the fire, because they're the necessities that haven't been there for 2 years kind of thing. And so that it's great to see that you guys have taken on that initiative.
Thanks, appreciate it. I guess you guys have solved that in pretty regular way, because you're in good position having VM compatibility in place, and you basically just let it work, right?
Yeah, it's like I said, Moonbeam can be a little spoiled sometimes. I think the EVM just makes it, whether it's custody, whether it's centralized exchanges, whether it's indexers, wallets. I mean, they generally just kind of work out of the box on Moonbeam, which obviously the team kind of pride themselves on compatibility with EVM, and so ultimately it did take a lot of work to get there, but certainly we kind of reap some of the benefits of the EVM compatibility from that standpoint for sure.
Makes sense. Anyways, thank you very much for coming. Let's be in touch, and till next time.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Nate. Take care. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Okay, so there was Nate Hamilton from Moonbeam. We've covered our integration, which is exciting. Guys, we're looking forward to putting out more and more use cases and more integrations with Moonbeam-based applications. A few announcements are on their way, so yeah, bear with us. Okay, the next topic of today's community call is our Polka DeFiance event. The tagline for this one was "All Gods Connected," and that was the event probably with the longest durations. If we compare that to others, like 7 hours, people and basically the great minds of the ecosystem were talking all things Polkadot. The latest news and all this kind of stuff. We have touched on almost every aspect of DeFi, how we can basically overcome certain issues on Polkadot, how we can basically avoid oblivion of this stuff. So I mean, there was a lot of stuff that we have discussed. So we have over 500 registered users. Most of them attended the events in person, which is really exciting, and this is like really high attendance, by the way. So I mean, like this year we had really high attendance, despite the markets that's probably the Polkadot community became a little bit more quiet rather than was in the past years, but I guess it's just the sign of ecosystem maturity, and that's then we'll see the sustainable growth, hopefully. So we have seen 17 speeches in January, like in total, from 22 projects, and we hosted 5 panels here. So yeah, I mean, if you basically scan the QR codes on the slides, you will follow the link to our YouTube, where you can find the whole kind of recording of the event, so you can go through all the presentation if you wish. We wanted to say actually thanks to our partners, and shout out to the Talisman team who helped us to organize the events. They were very helpful, very professional. They did a great job. They brought a lot of decent folks aboard and helped to manage things out. We thank Parity for helping us with the events as well. It was really nice to work together on that. So next topic, EQD USDT pair. It's live on our Equilibrium stable swap. So you can basically start swapping USDT from the state mine and versus our native decentralized stablecoin called EQD. Just to remind you, I don't know if you just joined our community and you're not that much aware of what we're actually building. EQD is a decentralized stablecoin, the only decentralized native substrate-based stablecoin in the Polkadot ecosystem right now. It's backed by crypto collateral. You can collateralize the basket of combination of different collateral types. You can combine volatile assets with non-volatile and mint EQD and manage your position quite effectively through combining different collateral types. So right now you can swap EQD for USDT on our site. So in our pool, we have a stable swap functionality in place. Right now we have a great opportunity to provide liquidity to the stable swap pool and get over 90% APR through our EQ Blast liquidity mining program. Additional bonus would be signed for EQ token holders. And what's special about that, you can reuse LP tokens that you get from the stable swap pool within Equilibrium. So basically can even raise more funds, raise liquidity through collateralizing LP tokens and borrowing, or you can, for example, earn some yield on that. And what's special, USDT is USDT withdrawals currently available from Binance, so you can withdraw USDT directly to Polkadot and eventually to Equilibrium from your Binance account. Yeah, so basically follow the money. Here's the link. Just scan the QR codes and go use our EQD USDT pair on our stable swap pool right away. So Ledger app. This is the major topic right now for us because, like, as you know, we have just a little bit slowdown of our structure, by the way. So we have EQ Lab, which is a developer house backing Equilibrium. EQ Lab is involved in developments of multiple projects. So right now, one of these kind of projects is our Ledger app for the Polkadot ecosystem. So basically, this app is supposed to be compatible with all their chains. If somebody wants to have this integration, they can do that firstly easily and seamlessly. So like we don't need to redeploy the app to Ledger Live. The project just needs to send PR to our repository, and we just add their interfaces to the app. And this is like very pretty straightforward way. The advantage of the app that if there is some upgrades on the Polkadot side, like let's say there is a new version of the substrate framework, then we don't need to update the app. Literally, like the only case when we need to update the app when there is a change to some supported balance palettes for asset transfers, like some interface change or something like that. So in this case, we need to update the app. But you can imagine that these kind of updates or amendments happen extremely rarely. So like, I don't know, maybe once in a time or whatsoever. So right now we have support from multiple parachain projects. So on the Polkadot side, you can see here the list. Just let me walk you through that. So first of all, it's obviously Equilibrium by far. So then like Manta, Intelay, Nodal, Bifrost, HydroDX, Ajuna, Mangata, Zeitgeist, sorry, apologies for that, German, Astar, Akala, Statements, Polkadot. So On the Kusama side, all the same folks with their Canary networks, you can see here also the list. So all these folks actually, they submitted their pull request to our repository, and they will be added as the first batch once the application goes live. So for us, the progress is like, first of all, we have put together a proposal. Like it's currently it's actually a discussion on the Polka assembly forum. So hopefully, like right now, we will see the link somewhere here in the chat or whatsoever. Like our assistants for the call, like will be put it out, so you can go there and comment or support this submission if you wish. So we have confirmed the overall approach with Ledger and the community. We're constantly in talks with both parachain teams and para teams. So right now the whole things are lined up with their expectations and their kind of vision of how exactly it should be implemented, both from the technical standpoints and the standpoints of cybersecurity. We have classified assets and balances by the amount of integration work, and we have put together a grant proposal. So hopefully next month in June, we will roll out the actual proposal on chain, and it's gonna be voted, I guess, on the procedure of GOV2. But anyway, so if you are in support of this proposal, please don't miss the actual proposal going live and support it. Just vote if you want to have this integration in place once it goes live. Yep, that's, I guess, pretty much it. I give it over to Peter. He will walk you through the rest of the presentation.
Yeah, thank you very much, Alex. All right, so yeah, Ledger proposal is an exciting stuff, and as Alex said correctly, we applied for post somewhere in the mid of June. We're going to be applying for actual proposal, so go ahead and vote. Hopefully it gets passed, and this is going to benefit the entire ecosystem. And I've already seen one of the questions in the Q&A session about the Ledger. Yeah, so once that's sorted out, you'll be able to access your EQ tokens, and not only EQ tokens, but pretty much 70 plus parachains we're currently intending to support. So that's going to be really, really cool. Going next, we are one of the top, probably currently a top one parachain count, if counted by the number of the XCM connections within the ecosystem. And we're happy to announce another XCM connection with the Composable team. And those guys, they're actually building some quite nice stuff inside the ecosystem as well. The ones who follow Polkadot closely probably know that they ported Cosmos IBC into the ecosystem. It was a bit funny. So they, because there was a saying that they beat Polka to XCM, you know, with with another ecosystem cross-chain protocol, but still XCM is much more flexible and general in nature. And now our ecosystem pretty much can enjoy those two cross-chain communication protocols. And the bright vision of Composable is that with the help of XCM and IBC, that's how this Cosmos-based technology is called, they can interconnect both Polkadot and Kusama. And we're going to be among the first parachains who are actually going to utilize that in production. And we are launching EQD pool against USDT on Pablo DEX. Pablo DEX is based in Kusama, and you will be able to seamlessly transfer your EQD tokens there and bootstrap EQD USDT. That's a balancer pool. Yeah, I think they have a balancer like AMM there. So it's going to be a 50-50 balancer pool, and you'll be able to trade EQDs in one more places inside the .Sama ecosystem. Exciting news, EQD is slowly but steadily spreading around. And as Alex mentioned earlier, we're also in talks with multiple AMMs and projects, both on Moonbeam and Astar, and slowly but steadily trying to push EQD to all of the limits and edges of the Polkadot ecosystem. So that's it for this slide. Alex, can you please switch to the next one so we can talk about the next stuff? Yeah, so this was a surprise for me as well. I haven't seen the presentation myself yet, but one of the influencers, well known inside the ecosystem, the Kusamarian, he presented Equilibrium, and pretty much he was talking about the benefits of our simple UX, which I myself enjoy pretty much. And he also talked about the cross-chain flow and the farming strategies we currently have and utilize, and also touched a bit about our ledger solution Alex was covering in detail here. Well, there's not really much to add on top of what Kusamarian was talking about Equilibrium. Apart from my own experience, I use our platform heavily, and the best thing I like about it is probably the insurer functionality, because I've put a bunch of money into the insurance pool, and I see how periodically some borrowers get liquidated, so I get their collateral and their debt, and there's still some ways to improve that, because at the end we want to allow insurers to manage their positions efficiently, and that's why we're waiting for XCM v3, which will allow us to pretty much direct liquidity anywhere in the ecosystem we want. So imagine you will have like this page where you have your assets and liabilities, and you have like a list of exchanges you select from where to trade it off. And this could eventually become like router style stuff, which we often and frequently see in EVM chains, where you could pick, where the router could automatically pick the best exchange for you, where to swap your assets with a minimum slippage. And one of our product work and the designer work at the current stage is actually well, prototyping all of that and bringing all of that into the liveliness, I would say. But there's still lots of work ahead of us, both technical and non-technical. So stay tuned. We'll be sharing that during our community call updates. Well, apart from that, I think that's it. There's a link to the video. Definitely scan it and go and see for yourself, and enjoy the slickness of the Equilibrium platform. All right, Alex, let's move on. Yeah, multi-chain bridge updates. So recently there has been some FUD around the multi-chain bridge. I don't know what's going on. I think they have struggles with migrating to the new router. We are in constant touch with their team, and once they migrate, we already have all the solution put up in place, and I talked about it last on our previous community call. So all the USDCs and ETH will migrate to that solution, and users will be able to use that new solution to bridge assets back and forth between Ethereum and Equilibrium via the multi-chain bridge working inside Moonbeam. This is thanks again to another pretty cool option XCM offers us in terms of cross-chain smart contracts and the clever way we utilize it along with Moonbeam and, of course, the multi-chain team. Of course, there are rumors and news about native USDC coming to Polkadot, and hopefully it will happen this summer. And we are keeping our heads up and constantly monitoring the situation. And once that is live, we're definitely going to support that as well. Pretty much it's going to be working the same way the native USDT is currently working, and so there's going to be a sufficient asset on state mint, and then it will spread around the ecosystem from the state mint directly. So you'll be able, as a user, to withdraw your tokens to state mint from those exchanges who support native Polkadot USDC solution, and then using XCM transfer your USDC around the ecosystem, looking for staking or farming opportunities. But I advise you to bring it to Equilibrium, the best DeFi parachain inside Polkadot so far. Yeah, that's it for the multi-chain bridge updates. Alex, let's move on. Dev update, as usual, even though it's summer season approaching and the market is kind of dying out, we on our side still have a lot of work to do and we're busy as usual. So some of the news and exciting updates. One of the stuff I already mentioned, we are prototyping the insurer interfaces to make them really, really awesome and pretty much to offer another product on top of our current solution. We have finalized the multi-chain solution update, and we're waiting for the multi-chain team to actually deploy their new router. We've made multiple UI improvements in Equilibrium, and we are working on a mobile version with designers, and we already took some of that stuff into the mocking process. So we're putting up the mobile interfaces. There were multiple bug fixes related both to Equilibrium and Ginshira, and mostly related to upgrading to a new runtime version and supporting both versions of XCMs, because right now we need to support both the second one and the newest one, the third one. Also, as you remember from last time, we finally open sourced all of our code base. We've merged the code base of Equilibrium and Ginshira together, and we have moved our CI/CD process and release process to GitHub. That was another very important milestone on the road to transparency and decentralization from our team, and we're happy that we're finally there. So yeah, trying to live up to the expectations of this great ecosystem, and I think we're doing a great job. So yeah, I've already said about the upgrades of the runtime version and the XCM version. I've seen some questions regarding Ginshira. Guys, we are working on that, and so the new product we've teased a bit is coming out, and currently we're working on the interfaces. And last sprint, literally, the front-end team was busy to actually updating all of the APIs to support the new runtime version and to support new XCMs to allow users to actually perform transfers, not via some weird Polkadot.js stuff, but actually within the Ginshira interfaces itself. So sooner or later, I'm not gonna spoil any timelines here because don't want to put overly optimistic projections into your heads, but still we're working on it, and eventually we'll do it, hopefully this summer, definitely. So a lot of UI work, and you've also heard about the Moonbeam's UI integration. So that's it for the dev updates, I believe, and I think that's it for our presentation.
For the presentation, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Pizza. Thank you, Pizza. We have, I guess, some questions. We have 15 minutes left. Today we're doing a great job. We're right in time. Let me stop sharing it here. Okay, let's go through questions. When Ginshira, I think we just addressed that. So we are working on that. Yeah, thanks very much for your patience. It takes some effort, Hi, dear EQ team. Okay, when DAX? Good question, Joshua. Thank you very much for bringing this up. So we're currently talking to market makers. You know, the thing is, we have DAX, which is audible based, as you know, right? So what is the key element of the audible based DAX? Try to guess. So obviously it's liquidity, right? But it's the case for everyone, for AMM or for audible based DAX or something. So the second and actually very specific important aspect is having a proper market maker on the DAX, which is juggling this kind of orders, rebalancing what's up in external platforms and so on and so forth. So we're currently talking to market makers, and believe me, the list of these market makers is pretty broad, from Wintermute to Jump Trading, like literally all the biggest names that you can even name. I guess everyone here in our chats and whatsoever, we're talking to them, but we have not solved the problem yet, so we don't have a market maker lined up for the DAX at this point, for multiple reasons. But first of all, because it's usually a chicken and egg problem for DAXs, so you need to show some, traction first, and then you can onboard some major market maker. Or another way around is just to wait until the bull cycle, when everything will be booming. Any market maker will be keen to jump on almost any platform. So addressing your question specifically, once we have a market maker lined up, we will be kicking out the DAX. Okay, so what's next? When I can get my queue for crowd loan 1, which were locked with Ledger? Okay, pizza dropped off. Good question. So as having said, we are working on the Ledger app. There will be, Equilibrium's integration as well. And hopefully once this app will go live, you will be able to manage tokens through using
My bad,
Ledger.
guys. Some connection issue.
So yes, just keep waiting. Once the app goes live, you will be able to manage your EQ tokens through Ledger. That's for sure. And I guess the token's been distributed to your address. That's for sure. However, having said that, it's quite hectic right now to interact with Ledger. I guess you cannot access it, unfortunately, but we're working on that. May I know if there is any update on Astar being unable to borrow on EQ?
Yeah, I know what's the deal here, Alex. We have talked with the devs about this issue yesterday. Yes, this is a front-end issue. We calculate the amount that may be borrowed incorrectly, and that's a front-end issue with our application. So we're going to be fixing that, and the release will happen on Monday, I guess. Yeah.
Perfect. Any prediction for future markets on platform? I know something about prediction markets, but I don't know about predictions for markets.
You mean what tokens we're going to be adding? Well, we are open to any tokens who have decent price feed. We need at least 3 sources so we can build a median because of our Oracle, and then we carefully assess liquidity and volatility to come up with a discount. And then it's just a matter of technique to actually get it rolled out. So yeah, if you have any suggestions or you want to see some tokens listed, please approach us and we'll definitely do that. The more the better. We are the portfolio-based platform, and the more diversified your portfolio is, the better you end up at the end Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, if you have some specific assets in mind, please drop a message to our assistants and we'll definitely consider. When USDC Ethereum, if you mean the pair, we currently don't have like AMM for quoting volatile assets.
No, Alex, I think this one relates to actually, the tokens from ETH and the multi-chain, and yeah, we covered that already.
Yeah, okay, makes sense.
when
Kraken, as soon as Kraken, so that's it. When will CDOT be able to withdraw, please? CDOT.
I think we already addressed it, but let me ask our testers and see what's the issue there. And if it persists, I'll try to speed them up. Yeah.
Okay. So we have 10 minutes left. Actually, let's do this. Does anyone want to jump to the stage right now with us, probably to ask some question or chat with us on some specific matter or issue? Just raise your hand and we will bring you on the stage. Okay, another question here. A few words for the people in Ambassadors program. Thank you very much. We really appreciate what you guys are doing for us. It's incredible. No, seriously, you're spreading your words, and this is something that's currently Polka Dot's community lacking, like proper spreading your words and building the awareness. So yeah, I guess Ambassadors is kind of frontier here for us, and yeah, they definitely help us a lot. We're super thankful to them.
Before anyone wishes to join, I have a question for the community. So we've built a lot of stuff, a lot of cool DeFi stuff, but frankly speaking, we don't see much utilization of that DeFi stuff. So my question to the community, what you guys would love to see inside the ecosystem, or what would you love projects or maybe Equilibrium to build here? What do you lack? What do you crave? What does excite you, and what do you want to see inside Polkadot? If you are able to come out and speak up, that would be awesome. Yeah. Because we can build anything. We are just like universal soldiers, and we're always
universal soldiers of Polkadot. Yeah, probably you can just at least wink if you have something in mind. Okay. No one cares, pizza. Everyone is just, tokens. Where's the tokens? Like pumps, dumps, whatsoever. What's the price? Why are you guys so badly performed? Why is everything so bad? Why is so doomy? Okay, this is fun. A lot of fun. Guys, we have 6 minutes left. Anyone wants to come in and speak or ask questions or anything? You have the exclusive opportunity to come on the stage and tell us everything, just looking at our eyes.
There's a question if we are participating in Polkadot Decoded. I believe Alex answered that, and he said yes, and we are.
Yes, we participate. Yeah.
We'll be there.
Yeah. I'll be talking at the tech stage on 28th, I guess, in some point in the evening. So yes, we'll be covering some aspects of the EQD stablecoin. More EQ utility, maybe. Okay.
Paul is asking if he will he be able to see his crowd loan contributions through the platform, which I cannot do at the moment. Yeah, we kind of turned off that functionality, and it's down our pipeline to turn it on again after we redesign the page, but we haven't really had a chance to actually get to that. So I can't really say anything about the timeline here, but currently, unfortunately, you can't see your contributions. But if you want to know exactly, you can always ping me, since we have everything in our database, and it's also publicly available stuff on the blockchain, and you can roam through Subscan to find it. Should be no problem.
Do you know something? By the way, yes. And if you experience any issues, you just need to reach out, I guess, to our support team. We will take care and give you all the information, just manually. Okay. Do you know something about people of conversation? Seems like a zombie project. I'm not surprised. Like I personally don't know anything, but I'm not surprised.
Conversation. What the hell is that? I don't even know what that is.
I'd like to be able to improve. Okay, so this is something we addressed. Cool. Makes sense. Guys, probably, I don't know, if you don't want to come on the stage, maybe you just drop to the chats. Like I see 18 people online. 18, 1-8, like, okay, so 2-3 of them from our team, so 15. Guys, can you drop something to the chat? Like, let's say, what exactly you're currently doing in the markets? Like, what you currently use, I don't know, trades or swap or stake, which chains is that? It could be probably not even Polkadot. Would be really interesting to see what's going on here. Will be there a swap pool between C dot, X dot, and LC dot? Roberta, good question. Frankly, I'm not sure about the use case for that. I mean, it sounds kind of cool to have this pool, but frankly, like, is there anyone who wants to use it? We don't see even the performance of C dot, and I guess even LC dot, which has been enabled in our XCM transfer. People don't bring these assets in, so there is no kind of even sign that this particular pool will be somehow interesting for the community, or I don't know. Like, I mean, we frankly, we don't want to do like the pointless job. That's it. Like, we've done a lot so far. Okay, stupid question, but where is the sources of Equilab API package? Is it okay to use this package? Peter, which one's package?
Are you talking about the NPM? Yes. You can use that.
Apparently, yes. Apparently, it's an NPM, I guess. Yeah, NPM just.
Yeah, and I believe lots of wallets we're working with, and also the exchanges we're currently in talk with to have a direct connection to our parachain. They also are exploring and using this. The sources, I think they're in the EQ Labs repo. Well, since we open sourced everything, if we have forgot, please ping us and we'll put it out as well.
Sounds good. Okay. Sam advocates for more stable swap pools. Fair enough. Don't forget to add liquidity there and participate in the EQ Blast campaign. Thanks for the suggestion. Okay, folks. So I guess it's the time to wrap up. Thank you very much for showing up on the call. I see quite a bunch of yeah, just maybe last question here, important by the way. How much longer will EQ Blast last? So this, like, it's actually like supposed to be in waves. So right now we're in the middle of the first wave, which is gonna be last until the end of June. And then we figure out like what we do next. Why now if there is any possibility to include more parachain assets in the markets, like Fala? Great question, by the way. I think we have the XM connection with Fala enabled. We can do that. Text a message somewhere in private. How much Fala you gonna bring to the platform if we
even
have
have Fala on our market, but I don't see, you know, the icon for it, but otherwise the asset is already in. So I guess you can XCM it in and use it, but if there's no price, you won't be able to use it. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. Guys, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Very nice call, very intimate. Not a lot of people here, but still good. Our long-time followers, thank you so much for joining. Let's keep doing that. And yeah, would love to catch up on during Polka Decoded in Copenhagen next month. And yeah, so let's be in touch.
Thank you.
See you.
Cheers.
Bye bye.